gonna share my screen. Okay, so can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, I apologize for all these extras. So,
No, no issue. Fine, fine.
all right. Just, all right. You see my screen now?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, let me zoom out. Like,
You mean to zoom?
yeah, like zoom the screen a little bit bigger.
Let me see how I can do it. Is it better?
Yeah, fine now. Or you can add it. You can still add it there.
Can you say that again? All right. So this right here is called an IDE, and that stands for integrated development environment. So
What?
that's, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm just explaining what this software right here is. So this is one example of an IDE.
Oh,
So there's a lot of different IDE. So this is called Visual Studio Code, and it's the go-to in the industry, and this is made by Microsoft. So this is something you download from Microsoft website and you install it on your laptop, your desktop, on your iPhone. You can also install this so you can code on your iPhone. So
let me bring my pen so I can write it down.
bring what?
Let me write it down on my notes
Okay.
so I can look it out later.
Yeah. Yeah, I can also share with you a document where you can follow word for word and it will show you how to set up your computer as a developer computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when we're done with this meeting, I'm gonna email that to you, and then we can have, if you want, we can have another Zoom meeting where I guide you through the process.
Oh, okay. That's good. I
Yeah,
appreciate that. Visual Studio Code, right?
yeah. This is called Visual Studio Code, and this is the blue
Visual or
version.
is it the vision or visual?
Visual, like images, visual is right at the top where my cursor is.
Visual. Okay, visual. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Visual Studio Code, right? And then there's another one where the icon, you see how the icon is blue? There's another one, this is
Yeah.
like his twin. His twin is called Visual Studio. This one is purple, and that one is a little more advanced. With this one, you can create a whole app on your computer and everything. This one is a lot more advanced, but this one is the basic one. Visual Studio Code allow you to do a lot of different things, and you can integrate.
So the other one with the purple, what's the name of that one?
It's just called Visual Studio.
Visual Studio. Okay.
Yep. They're both on the same
Uh,
Microsoft website. If you literally type Microsoft Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code, you're gonna see it. I was saying that on purpose so you can know the difference. The purple one is more advanced. You wanna start with the blue one so you can get more familiar first.
okay.
Come on,
That's
bro.
good.
Yeah.
All right.
So the reason why I'm explaining this to you is so you can have a big picture overview. When in IT, it's important to understand the big picture so the specific detail makes more sense. So check this out. So you know how we use Google Colab
Yeah.
as part of a class? So Google Colab is a form of cloud-based IDE. That's what Google Colab does similar things that this one can do. But with Google Colab, you don't have to download it on your computer. You literally simply just go to the website. That's why it's called cloud-based. It's in a cloud, like almost like in the sky. Because
All right.
you don't have to download it on your computer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why it's also connected to your Google Drive. And your Google Drive is a cloud application. That's why you can save software, you can save file, you can save music, you can save pictures in your Google Drive. So you can access it from anywhere in the world because it's in the cloud.
Yeah.
So so that's the difference between this type of IDE and Google Colab. The reason why I'm saying that is because the class use Google Colab, and then I use that too. Let me see. There goes my Google Colab. You see, this is the Google Colab, and this is some of the last exercises that we did. All right, you
Yeah.
remember this?
Yeah. I remember that.
All right. So now you see, you remember pandas, right?
Yeah.
All right. So pandas is something that's called a library. So
Oh.
in in software development, there's things called library. Library, they're a collection of tools that allow you to do something specific.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different libraries. And then that's why one of the things that we learn in class is to how to create a library because you you Simpson, you can learn coding to a point you can create your own library and then people around the world will start using it. Just about knowing
Okay.
how to code. So Pandas is a very famous library. That's why they got their own websites like this. Okay, that was Pandas. So when you go to this website, there's right here Pandas, and then there's all of this documentation which sound like mumble jumble, right? So you remember in class we talked about data frame. Do you
I
remember?
remember that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I do remember.
Yeah, we talked about data frame, and data frame is a specific category of what's the best way? It's specific formats of dealing with data. Just like we have lists, we have series, we have data frame, we have libraries. So write all these down. These are different ways that you can deal with data, and they all have their own structure. And that's why when you go to the documentation, you can look at the specific parameters and it tell you how to use the function. So that's why when I go back to here, right? Let me show you this,
Yeah.
right? I have
Yeah.
import statistic. Where's it going to paint that? Okay, let me go to Colab. Let's be on this topic. We can stay on topic. So you see how we say import pandas as PD?
Yeah.
So we are telling the IDE, all right, bro, you gotta go to pandas land and you gotta download all of the tools that pandas have so we can use it in our code. So
Oh.
that's why it's placed at the top of this coding block. So there's something in coding. You know how like in English we read from left to right,
Yeah.
and in Arabic people read from right to left.
Yeah.
So each language has a natural direction of computation, for lack of a better term. So in coding, the natural progression is from top to bottom. Like
Okay.
like in real life. Have you ever heard the saying as above, so below?
Not really, but I understand what you mean.
Well, as above, so below is literally one of what you go the laws of nature or like the universe. Let me show you. As above, so below. Stop. So read this. This is a little bit off topic, but it's going to help you connect the bigger picture. It's called the law of correspondence. As above, so below, as below, so above. So this principle embodies the truth that there's always a correspondence between the laws and phenomena of various plane of being in life. And the same thing applied to coding because coding is just one part of life, right?
Yeah.
Right. So look, the law of correspondence suggests that there's a relationship between the microcosm, which is the universe, and the microcosm, which is the individual, like me and you, and that the universe is a
Yeah.
reflection of the individual and vice versa. And the individual is a reflection of the universe. This is the same thing with coding. So, see, the solar system and atom. If you study the solar system, you see that the solar system is made up of a central star and the number of orbiting planets, right? That's the same thing like the
Yeah.
atoms in your body. The atoms in your body has a nucleus and then with smaller atoms like electrons around it. So it's the
Yeah.
same thing in coding. So we're not going to get too much off topic. So let's go back to here. Let's go back to code. So so that's why when you compute your code, you want to think as above, so below. It goes from top down. So when you press this run cell button to run your code, the computer, hey, chill out, B. The IDE is gonna interpret your code starting from the top and work its way down. So that means it's gonna read line one first, then line two, then line three, four, five, six, all the way until you get to 28 or how many line of code that you have. You feel me?
Thank you.
You have any questions so far?
No, no, I'm getting it.
Okay, feel free to stop me at any second. Okay. All right. So I was saying that to say the reason why we put imports at the top is because if we put imports at the bottom, so let's say if I put imports all the way at the bottom, this code is not gonna work because the IDE doesn't know that it has to it has to borrow function from the library called pandas. You follow?
So I
So
get
that's
that.
what, say that again.
I said I get you. I get that. I get that.
Okay, so that's what pandas have to be, import pandas has to be all the way at the top in the progression of
Okay.
our code. So we say import pandas, right? Because we're gonna use some function that are part of pandas. So right here, right, you see our whole ethereal school. Do you see my cursor?
Yeah, Ethereal Scroll.
Yeah, so ethereal school is something that I made up. So ethereal school is called a variable. A variable is simply like imagine like a box. A variable is a placeholder to contain a value. Okay, so ethereal school is my variable, and then I what in the world be? So ethereal school is my variable, right? So that's my box. That's my placeholder. And then inside of a box, I use this equal to give it value inside the box. So ethereal school is the box. Then you got my equal sign. Then everything I write afterwards become the value of my box, which is ethereal school, my variable. So you follow?
Okay. I get that. I get you.
Okay, so in this case, right? So we have what's it called? What do we have here? We have these these curly things are called curly brackets or curly brackets. So we have our data inside of curly brackets. That's what
But
you
what is the function of the bracket?
say that again.
What is the function of the bracket?
All right, so let's investigate that. So Python, chill, B, chill. So look, so this is what you do. So Smiley say, what is the difference between, let me make this bigger. What is the difference between curly brace and square bracket? So this is the curly brace and this is the square bracket,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there it goes. They say curly braces create dictionaries or sets. You feel me? Remember we talked about dictionaries?
Yeah.
And then square bracket create lists. Remember we talked about lists in class?
Yeah.
So whenever you're creating a list, you have to remember I have to use square brackets. These one. This one right here.
Yeah.
Oh man. My phone went blank. Hold on.
No
Hello?
problem. All right. I'm here.
So remember we talking about what's the difference between curly breaks or curly brackets and then square brackets. So curly braces right here, this is used to make a library or a set so you can use that in your data frame or different things. So whenever
Coil,
you say that again,
coily brace is what?
okay, curly brace, two curly brace, that's what you use to hold your data when you're trying to make a library, no, I mean a dictionary or a set. And they say right here in one of the answers.
Coily brace is to hold your data when creating dictionary or set.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then square brackets that create lists, like a simple list. So that's why you can
Okay.
remember. You see how like they kind of look straight, the square brackets.
Yeah.
You can think about like L, like list.
Yes.
Okay, they're called literal. Okay. So look at this. Can you see this?
Yeah. I see.
All right. So they say sets are collection of unique elements and you cannot order them. Lists are ordered sequences of elements and values can be repeated. Dictionaries map keys to values and keys must be unique. So this part is important. It's a dictionary map keys to values. That means in a dictionary, you have two sets of data. One data is the key, the other data is the value. Kind of have we have like a data and we have the corresponding index. You remember about index?
Yeah. What's index function?
Okay, so index is like you remember in math like place value? Remember place value?
Yeah.
So when you write 0, 1, 2, 3, no, that's not a good number. If I write 2023, that's
Yeah.
four that's four numbers, right?
Yeah.
So you write 2023, that's four numbers. So the value are 2, 0, 2, 3. And
Yes.
now now each number in the number, not literally, each number in 2023 has its own index. So in coding, like in Python, the index starts at 0. So because 2 is the first number. Let me make it visual. Let me put that in new text. So you write 2023, right?
Yeah.
So the value or data equals 2023. So if I go here to our index, starts start at the first number. The first number is 2, so its index is 0. The second number is 0, so its index is 1. The third number is 2, so its index is 2. The fourth number, right, in
Yes.
2023, well, what's going to be its index?
The what?
The last number in 2023 is 3, right?
Yes.
So what is his index?
The index should be 2.
Are you sure?
Yes, you said index starts from 0, 1, 0.
Yes, index starts at 0 and goes all the way until infinity. It just goes
Yeah.
depending on how many data you have. So let's say if I keep adding numbers to this, the index is going to increase, right?
Yes.
So we start over. So our first number is 2. So what is his index?
0.
Okay, good. The second number is 0. What is his index?
Is 0 still.
Huh?
The second number is 0 now. So
Why?
index is gonna be 0.
So the first number is index was 0. So how can the second number is index also be 0?
That should be 1.
Say that again.
That should be 1.
All right, it's 1. So
Yes.
so 2 is the third number. What is its index?
No, 2.
2, exactly. Now you have what? You have 3. So what is the index of 3?
That's 3.
Bingo. Then you have 4, right?
Yeah.
You have 2023, then you have 4. What is his index?
4.
4. All right. Then you have 5. What is his index?
5.
5. And now you have 8. What is his index?
6.
6. All right. So you got it. So this goes on and on all the way until infinity. So whenever
Yeah.
you type in the code in Python, you always have to remember each letters that you type have its index started at 0. So if I write, for example, I'm gonna write in a new code print, right? If I write print parenthesis your name, right?
Yes.
Right? This is what I wrote. So as soon as I write this, you have to know in the back of your head, this has how many letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? That means,
So it's gotta be 7 because it is 0 index.
are you sure?
It is 6 letters. So if we are to count the index, it's gonna be starting from 0.
Okay, so let's
Then,
count. So the index of S is 0.
yeah,
The, the index of A is 1. The index of
yeah,
M is 2, right?
yes,
And then 3 for S, 4 for
yes,
O, and then 5 for
5.
N.
Oh, yeah, now it's gonna start from 0.
Yeah, so now you have to understand the difference, right? So how
Yeah,
many numbers do we have right here?
5, 5,
One, no, we have 6 numbers,
6, 6, 6 number.
right? Because we start at 0. That's what you have to remember.
0,
We have 6
yes,
number,
6,
but it ends with 5. There's a
5,
difference.
yeah,
There's a difference between the
yes.
length, right? The length of this is 6, right?
But it starts from 0.
Right. It starts from 0, so its length is 6, even though the last value is 5. Do
Yeah.
you follow?
Yeah, I follow now.
All right. So now let's go back to our thing right here. It said dictionary map keys to a value is the same concept. Every key in your dictionary is gonna have its value. The same way that every time we wrote the letters in your names, they all add their own index. It's the same concept. This is called
Yes.
something that's two-dimensional because there's two dimension to the data. The first dimension is the key, the second dimension is the value. You follow?
Yes.
Okay, cool. It says sets and dictionary keys must meet other restriction as well, so that Python can actually keep track of them efficiently and know that they're able and will remain unique. All right? Okay, so let's not get too beside ourselves. Let's go back to this. So let me show you a good example. All right, this is a perfect example. So right here, right? Remember we talk about the order of computation is from top to bottom, right? Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
So that so that's why we have import at the top, and then we have df, right? So df is our variable, right? Because
Data
df,
frame.
say that again.
DF means data frame, right?
Right. So she chose the letters D and F for data frame, but this could have been anything. This could have been OS, like operating system. This could have been B BU. I'm saying it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
It only matter because when you create your variable, you want to give it a name that's close to what it stands for. So you don't confuse yourself or somebody else who's going to read your code. That's why for data frame, she used the acronym D and F because it makes sense, data frame. But this, at the end of it, is only a variable. Remember, we talk about our boxes.
Yeah.
So, so df is our box slash our variable. And when you write equals, you give it a value. Now, the value of this variable right here is a function, right?
Yeah.
Well, what function is it?
The the variable and value.
Say that again, louder.
The variable and value.
The variable and value. What do you mean?
You said what is the function of the DF equals to PD? The for the variable.
I can't hear you.
Then
You gotta speak up a little bit.
I said DF means the variables
Right.
e-
df is the
equals
variable. Hey, don't start with me. Play with this. Play with this. So df is the variable, right? And then
yeah
we set it equals to this whole thing right
the
here,
value
right? So
which is
this
the
is
value.
so this is the value of df, right?
Yes.
But but value is vague. Value just mean value. Now specifically inside of this, right? We have to break down every single thing in there so we can understand, right?
Yes.
So that's what I was referring to. So you remember when we are talking about our data type, we have we use data, we use function, we use loops, we use booleans. So you have to remember all of that when you are coding. So so what do we have written right here? We have import pandas as PD, right?
Yes.
And we set PD simply to represent pandas, so we don't have to rewrite pandas every time.
Just
That's one, two, three, four. That's 6 letters. Instead of writing 6 letters, we just abbreviate it as PD. So every time you see PD, it means pandas. And pandas, that's the library
oh,
that we are using that have all these tools. You follow?
I follow.
Right, this meeting is about to end. in like 1 minute. So I'm about to send you another invite, but real quick. So so that's why right here we have PD, which is our library, and we have that read. Read is our function, right? Read
Yes.
literally mean read. And then we have underscore and we have CSV. CSV is a file format. Like when you have an Excel document, like a table,
Okay.
when you have a table Excel document, like to hold data, a lot of the time
Yeah.
the extension is a CSV. Like for Word document is like, what is it for Word document? What's the extension? Is DOC, like document, right?
Yeah.
Like when you look at the Word document, sometimes it says DOC at the end, sometimes it says DOCX. So that's his extension. Extension is the file format. And then we have our parentheses and in quotation, we have the link on the internet that holds that specific file. So everything, this long as text in the parentheses is simply the location where Panda is gonna read a specific file.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to send you another invite because this meeting is about to be done.